So I'm just, recording this so you can watch back, later when you go, what in the world? I know we talked about this, but I don't remember, what all was said or, you know, questions you might have that come up. So, um, so tell me kind of what you want to work on. What is kind of the loudest thing for you these days? Um,
Um, I'm
is
not really sure. My mom said that I could just ask you to clear whatever my body wanted to be clear. I say this. I'm not saying that because I'm skeptical. I'm saying that because that is what she said.
right, right. Um, so
um,
would you say the anxiety is more of an issue or kind of the lack of focus, ADD, that kind of stuff?
um, the ADHD is a very big issue for me. For me, it's more of like a productivity thing, like the kind of like, the whole kind of I use the term chronic fatigue lightly because I don't of course I'm not a medical professional, but I am
Right,
tired like basically all of the time.
right.
And that kind of keeps me from doing things.
Oh,
And
okay, let me ask you something about that.
Mhm.
Do you have stairs in your house?
I do, yeah.
Okay, do you get like almost like winded, or do you feel like your legs are super heavy, like almost like you have Frankenstein feet?
No, not really. It's more of like
Okay.
uh I it's an ADHD thing. It's an understimulation thing. I'm just I suppose chronically bored is a better term
Bored.
for it.
Okay. Okay. So
But
like
yeah.
procrastination,
Oh
just
yeah. Oh yeah.
burnout, like
Oh yeah. Yeah.
apathy, I don't care.
Mhm. Mhm.
Have you used any of the flower essences before? Has your mom given you those?
Yes, they don't really seem to have helped that.
Okay.
Um yeah, because like I said, it's the ADHD, which is it's not environmental, it's genetic. It runs on both sides of my family, so I'm kind of yeah. But
It's
aside
so is
from
it learned behavior?
huh? What'd you say?
Is it learned behavior?
I don't think it is. No, I don't think it's learned behavior that I have music playing in my head 24/7. Um I don't yeah, but in any case,
Have you always
that's
had that?
yes, I've always been the way that I am. I mean, obviously, things, but yeah. As for having ADHD, I've always had ADHD. It's always been pretty obvious. So, I can pretty confidently say that it's not like an environmental thing as for that. So, I'm not really sure, but if we're talking it's not like a developed thing, right? It's like a genetic thing, but if
Has that
but
improved at all with any of the food clearings
no,
recently? Okay.
no, it hasn't. Um,
Okay.
no.
Because I
Um,
know, food sensitivities and stuff can add to that too.
yeah,
Sure.
yeah. Um, yeah, but my main issue, yeah, but like my main issues with like I don't know. My mom said that like a lot of what you do is like clearing like emotional stuff
Right, right.
and like more like learned things and
Yeah, well,
yeah.
what we're going to
So
work on
yeah,
today
yeah.
is
So
belief
as for that,
codes. So, yeah, that will help that.
yeah.
Um,
As
but
for
I
that,
just want to make sure that there weren't some nutritional things going on, some other things, because it's probably multiple things, right? Um,
mhm,
you know, Unfortunately, a lot of our technology and stuff is kind of geared
mhm,
towards making us shorter attention span, right?
yeah.
Burnout and stuff like that. If you're not bored, are you gifted?
I wouldn't know. I wouldn't know. Um, I somehow still get A's in my classes despite the fact that I have a lot of trouble completing assignments. So maybe I am, or maybe my classes are just easy. I have no idea.
Right.
Um, I've been told that I'm
Because
smart.
honestly,
I don't
some
know
of
if that.
that boredom may just be because you're not being challenged. Um,
I would,
do you
I
have
would, yeah.
something you're super stupid passionate about?
Sometimes I get passionate. Sometimes I get really, really into like TV shows or like a book. Like I'll read a book and I'll be really, really into the book, and it's all I can think about. Um,
Right.
but I don't know. Like I'm even, yeah, but I don't know. I struggle a lot with school. Um, I struggle a lot with like being in class, but yeah, I don't, yeah, I don't think that's.
Because if you're not being challenged and you don't care
No,
about
I
subject
am
matter,
challenged, and it
you know,
overwhelms me quite a bit. I'm very frequently, I I get really overwhelmed with school, like just doing like I get really overwhelmed with school and just having to do assignments. Like I've been told I'm apparently good at writing essays, um, but I don't have the attention span for it. It feels like the act of writing an essay feels like almost physically painful. Like ugh, like I can just feel it like right now, just like thinking about it.
okay, yeah, that
It's like dunking my hand in like
right.
hot water and trying to keep it there. It's really bad. I cry basically every time I have to write an essay. It takes me hours because I spend a lot of time just staring at the page, trying to be like, all right, it's time to write. It's time to write. Um, I don't think it's really a giftedness thing because I do have trouble even like finding like the motivation to like do things like clean my room or like read a book that I like or like draw something that I like. But yeah. I think that's more ADHD. So I'm not really sure how much you can do about that. I'm not. I'm just saying.
Right, right.
Yeah. I'm not really sure if that's really your um area of expertise. I mean, it could be. I'm not sure. But anyway, yeah. But mainly, I think it's mostly just uh I think I have a lot of trouble this is a separate point. I think I have a lot of trouble with like I like over rationalize things or I over intellectualize things. Like I talk sometimes like like in internal monologue or like whatever
Right, right.
about my like feelings or like whatever a lot and like why I'm feeling that way. And half the time I'm sure that like most of the time I'm wrong, but I guess it just gives me some feeling of control or something. I psychoanalyze myself too much. I am too self-aware, so to speak. So I'm
Right.
not sure if that's something that you can help because I think that's separate from the ADHD. I think that's just a me thing. Um and um I do
Well, I
have
mean, if you're getting fixated on those things, then
Mhm.
that kind of can go hand in hand with that. So,
Yeah.
okay. Um,
Yeah.
okay, so if you were to describe your diet in one word, what would that word be?
Oh, um in one word?
Yeah.
Uh, uh, I suppose I mostly just eat for fun.
Okay,
If that's
so
I think
fun. Okay.
um
I mean,
so
I
yeah, like I don't yeah, I eat a lot of toast because I know that toast is good. I eat a lot of buttered toast. Sometimes I will go like through the entire day and I will eat like one thing that isn't toast and then five slices of toast. Um I drink
so what
I
is it about the toast? Because you said fun. Is it because it's crunchy,
um
kind of
when I say
crispy?
fun, I mean like so I'm pretty sure that this is caused by my ADHD because like my family members who have ADHD have the exact same issue, the exact same relationship with food, which is because it makes me feel good, makes you feel good, and when you're like always like kind of like bored,
Right.
you kind of feel
So
like
that
there
fun,
yeah,
it just means like it's taking up that
it's
space
like
of like filling the space of boredom, kind of.
yeah. I mean, if we're
Okay.
talking like neuroscience or whatever, I think it's like a dopamine hit. It's like a dopamine hit thing.
Right. Okay.
because when you have ADHD, your brain doesn't make nearly enough dopamine. So it's like, yeah. So, how I'm not, like as you can see, I'm like thin. I'm thin.
Right.
So
Right.
I don't know. I honestly, I'm not entirely sure how I'm thin. I guess I have a good metabolism or something because I eat a lot of carbs. I eat a lot of sugar. Sometimes I will overeat just because, like, I hate the feeling of like not feeling anything in my stomach. So like I don't like the feeling of being satisfied but not hungry and not full, if you know what I mean. I think it's just, I think it might be an understimulation thing. I'm not sure. So I will sometimes, like, just because I want to feel something in my stomach, I will either purposefully like go without food so that I'm hungry, so I can feel hungry, or I will purposefully overeat so that I can feel full.
Right.
And like it's not
So
I
you
don't
have
I
an
don't think
aversion to just the kind of emptiness or the not even emptiness, nothingness.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. That, but again, I'm not sure, like, yeah. But sorry, it's kind of hard to, I'm trying really hard to keep my thoughts straight here. I'm not very
No,
I'm
I
not
mean
very
it's
good at,
fine. You can let your thoughts go where they go because it all kind of,
I mean, it would kind of
flows.
go into, yeah. No, I mean, like, it would kind of, yeah. Oof, I have like a lot of trouble sometimes with like these like video call things with people because like they're like, oh, well, like talk about something, and I'm like, oh, there's so many things I could talk about, and I don't want to go off on a tangent and not never return, you know. But
I'll reel you back in. Don't worry.
okay, thank you. But yeah. So for the, I don't know. I suppose I do have some. Uh, I suppose I do have some level of like, you know, I don't know if grief is the right word or like whatever about like my like childhood or whatnot, because you know, so like I have like my childhood was kind of scary for me. It was really scary for me because, well,
How come?
well, so I have like sensory issues
Okay.
and stuff, and I was really like,
Were you
I was,
vaccinated?
what, am I vaccinated?
Yeah, were you vaccinated?
Yeah, I
Okay.
was,
Okay.
but
Are you still getting vaccinations?
no, not really. I mean like it's, I mean like I've never gotten like the flu shot. I've only gotten like the really necessary ones, like things like polio and things.
Right,
So
right.
I've never gotten
So
like a
like the
like the flu
typical
shot.
childhood vaccines.
Yeah, but I've never like done like the flu shots or like I didn't get the COVID vaccine.
Right. Okay.
I didn't, yeah.
Good.
But and anyway, yeah, I have like, you know, sensory issues as a result of my ADHD, and I have a lot of trouble sometimes like taking stock of my environment. Like I've described it before as like when I walk into a room, I don't see anything unless I make a point to look at it. So like it's very
So
yes, and so like when I don't have like previous, and like I have auditory processing issues and like all those things. So
right,
a lot
right,
of what would happen when I was young is I would just be like really confused all of the time because I didn't really know what was going on, and I didn't have like the context about the world that I have now to like fill in the blanks. And like my parents would take me somewhere and I would like I would have like, and I'd like miss like where, like when they like I like forget what they told me about it, or I like literally just didn't like process what they were saying properly, or like
right.
I was distracted or something. And so there was like a lot of like me like going places and doing things. I had no idea what was going on. I was like really disoriented a lot. I think, I'm not sure if that's the right word, but yeah, and there were a lot of like things that I really didn't like doing that I was forced to do. Like I don't do very well with loud.
Right.
um it's better now. I don't do very well with loud. I'm rather anxious. I kind of like I'm very anxious. I suspect I have like either OCD or OCD tendencies or something. I'm not sure though, because I have a lot of like I'm so as an example for like the type of person that I am, when I go downstairs, I have to like I almost lean on the wall or I'm like holding onto the railing. Like I don't have any mobility issues, but I am terrified that I'm gonna fall down the stairs. I have in fact fallen down the stairs once or twice, but like when I fell down the stairs, I wasn't like thinking, "Oh no, I'm going to die" or like whatever. So my fear is completely invalid because if I did theoretically
Right,
fall down the
right.
stairs, it's not like a thing. It's just and I go down the stairs like one step at a time. Like I don't run down the stairs and I look down as I'm going down the stairs. And I do that with a lot of things. I get very, very concerned about like what if something bad happens. I'm a I'm I suppose I'm what they would call a hypochondriac. I've had a lot of uh I don't know, obsessions or something with like
Right,
health. Like
fixations and
yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah.
yeah.
At one point it was hydration. So I don't have this anymore. But I used to be so concerned about um I used to be so concerned about heat stroke that I couldn't go anywhere without a water bottle. I was like drinking water obsessively all the time because like I thought I was going to get heat stroke. It would send me into a panic attack if I did basically any physical activity, and I was like and my water bottle was like across the room. Like it was not good actually. It was really not good. Um
Did you
I
have did you have issues with heat?
sensory issues with heat, do you mean?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, do you get overheated? Do you have an intolerance of heat?
So I kind of do, but the heat stroke thing was it was like more of a
More
health thing.
more of a mental,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah. It was a concern about like I'm going to die of heat stroke or something. I don't even know what I was thinking. Logically I knew it was completely irrational, but I just like could not
right,
like it freaked me out.
right,
We have the golf carts. I'm not sure if you know what golf carts are, right?
right, right, yeah,
Yeah, sorry, I'm not trying to be demeaning. I mean,
yeah.
some people just don't know what the golf carts are, but we drive on the golf cart paths when we first moved here, and for like a couple of years, like every time we were driving, I would be gripping onto like the side, like onto like the railing of like the golf cart, like literally like pressed against it, and I'd have my eyes closed, and I'd be like on the verge of tears the entire time because I was terrified that we were gonna crash or that I was gonna fall out or something, and so like those sorts of things, like it's just kind of like yeah, yeah. And so I've always kind of been like that, and I kind of go into kind of like fight or flight whenever
Right. Does that
when
also happen in the car? I mean, I assume that's with motion and things like that.
in the car not so much. I guess I felt safer in the car. Like I said, it's not
Okay.
entirely rational. Um,
So is it more wind related? You know, like
well,
the
it's not like a
movement
sensory
plus
thing.
the
I think.
wind is just more sensory than you can kind of process.
Oh, oh well, this particular thing. I'm saying these are more like this is more what I think would be more of like OCD tendencies or stuff, or like I mean like not to like pathologize it because I'm not a professional. Um, I mean like the whole like intrusive thoughts about I'm in danger, something bad is going to happen if I don't take every precaution I possibly can, like that sort of thing. That's more like what I'm describing right now. I'm sorry, I guess I didn't make that transition very clear. Um, so for that those aren't really sensory issues. That's more of like a fear thing. And I was just saying like
Right.
maybe that. But
Right.
anyway,
So that's
so that's
still more
mhm,
mental than well, my guess is
mhm,
that, there's probably a number of factors, right, that
mhm.
kind of go into
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
So yeah. Um,
yeah. But yeah,
because
anyway.
as you grow up, your conscious mind is trying to fill in those gaps of
Mhm,
why you have these sensory issues, right?
yeah.
So,
Yeah, but
you
yeah, I mean
have
like
to kind of make some kind of logical sense with your brain the older you get to
yeah.
kind of fill in those gaps. So,
Yeah. But yeah. Anyway, like I said, because of my, just like excessive, like it's kind of like constant fear and like the intrusive thoughts about like, bad things happening to me, like that sort of constant fear that made my childhood very difficult. I wasn't very good at articulating my emotions, which I don't think really any kid is. So I don't think that's a me thing. I think that's just a general thing.
right, right.
And so I was scared a lot of the time, and I didn't know what was going on a lot of the time, and I was forced into a lot of sensory discomfort. Um, that like and like I was homeschooled because my mom, she didn't realize it was ADHD, but she knew there was something wrong with me, right? So like so she was fine with just keeping me home and homeschooled. So and I'm glad for that. There were a lot of I I feel rejection very, very strongly, which is another thing. Um,
Is that
and
of yourself, or is that like
so I know it's
from
a symptom of
outside?
yeah, I know it's a symptom of ADHD. Being like, it's like an emotional dysregulation thing or something apparently. Um, but I don't know. I mean, like I said, in my family members that also have ADHD, I see this tendency in them as well, in basically the same way it is in me. So that's why I'm assuming that it's like an ADHD thing. I'm not sure though, but I am getting better at that. I think I'm becoming more confident recently, which is good. Um, I it's been like a conscious effort. Like I don't think it was like a lifestyle change or anything. I think I just kind of had to like like go outside and be like, if somebody dislikes me, it's not the end of the world, and I just keep telling myself that, right, until I believe it. But you know, and oh yeah, and also when I was young, I was very so like I said, I have a lot of kind of like issues with, because my ADHD. This is the main thing with ADHD that really gets me, that makes schoolwork hard for me, is the whole like task paralysis, like the procrastination, just like taken to like 100. It's like really bad. Um, I mean, I don't know how bad it is relatively speaking, but I know that it really gets in my way.
Right.
And so like I said, like writing essays for me is like almost physically painful. It's so uncomfortable. It's so bad. I hate it so much. And I've
Do you
always
know
hated
what
it. Right?
do you know what drives that? What drives that? Is it mental?
It's
Because maybe
I'm
the
not sure.
tactic there might be playing the what's the worst that could happen game, right? Like what's the worst that could happen? I get a failing grade. And
Oh, no, no,
is
no.
that even a real possibility that you fail
Oh um
this
oh, it's
thing?
it's not an anxiety thing. It's a like I hate writing essays. Like I I just don't I just hate it. I just really, really hate it. And because I think it's because it takes a lot of like energy and focus or something. And it just feels so uncomfortable to write one. Like my grade is not something that I'm worried about. I get very good grades on essays and like creative writing and like techno and like informative writing in general. I get very good grades, which is why my mom says like, "Oh, well, like it's you're good at it or whatever." But I'm a little hesitant to say that because I can't really be good at it if I avoid it. So and I procrastinate really
So do
badly.
you
And
just
yeah.
resent like having to be focused on your writing?
No,
Or,
not really. I don't
they
I
pick
don't
the
resent it.
topic, or, because sometimes just a shift in your perspective might be
Um
helpful, kind of, you know.
No, I, I don't think so. I don't think it's an emotional thing. Um,
Okay, yeah, I mean, that could be just like full on energetics of the thing. Just the frequency that it produces is a disruption to you. And
yeah,
um, so, okay.
yeah, but like, no, no, no. It's like kind of all homework is like that for me. Kind of all like difficult work is kind of like that for me. Like, but that's that's just classic ADHD. It's bad. Um, in fact, I think that's yeah. Ugh. It's very bad. Just the whole procrastination it's just terrible. But anyway, um anyway, uh yeah, so as for like what I yeah, but I'm not really sure if that's like in your yeah. But
Okay, so if you were to rate your anxiety
mhm.
on a scale of 0 to 10, what would kind of your average, just baseline, where would you be currently?
So I don't like right now.
I mean, just on average, the average day,
Oh,
kind of
okay, because it does kind
in
of go up and
general.
down. Um 4? I don't know. I really
Okay,
don't know.
we'll
Because
go with
sometimes because, like, mostly it's just I think it's just, like, the thoughts of, like, "Oh, something bad is going to happen," and those are pretty consistent, but my reaction to them is not, if you know what I mean. So
right,
some
right.
days so, like, for example, if, like, if part of me in my brain is saying, like, "Oh, like,
I'm gonna fall down the
you're going to
stairs,
fall
even
down
though
the
you've
stairs,"
never
right?
fallen down the stairs ever. That kind of stuff.
Um
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, if my brain is telling me you're going to fall down the stairs, some days I'm like, okay, well, whatever. And my brain's just like, you're gonna fall down the stairs, you're gonna fall down the stairs, you're gonna fall down the stairs. And I'm like, okay, well, I don't care. And then other days I do care. And other days, like, for whatever reason, I believe that I am in fact going to fall down the stairs. And then I get really,
Right. Then you're
I
in
get really
panic,
like,
fight or flight, right?
yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
And so that's how it is. So it's kind of hard for me. So, like, I'm not sure if it's really an anxiety thing. I think it's more of a some days I just have like more like resistance or like more reason to believe that something bad isn't going to happen. Um, but when I do in fact have reason to believe that something bad will happen, then I kind of spiral. Um, what the heck is this? Why is this? No, sorry. I was just looking at this. Why is this? Because I was looking at the scale and I was like, why is it clear? It's because it's only the top half of the scale. Um, yeah.
Okay,
Um,
so what about your ADHD? If
mhm.
you were to give that, I mean, just on an average, just a
Oh,
general everyday kind of thing,
well,
where would
like I
you
said,
rate
it's
that?
kind of difficult for me to know what like normal people experience as normal. My mom tells me that what I experience is very not normal, and she is, neurotypical. So, um, I, I mean, it kind of doesn't go away. It's kind of just a constant, like, it's just how I work. So,
Okay,
but
just give it a number for you. I
given enough
mean,
for me,
yeah,
like how much does it get in the way of me?
yeah. I mean,
I
exactly.
would say like an 8 or maybe a 9. Like it really gets in the way
Okay.
of me.
We'll just say 8 or 9.
It
And
gets
then,
in my
as
way.
we're moving forward, that's going to be your benchmark of like, where am I now versus
Mhm.
where,
Okay. Yeah.
you know, and you don't have
Yeah.
to overthink it. It's just,
Yeah. Yeah.
okay. Okay.
Yeah. And,
So yeah,
but like yeah.
we'll get started
Mhm.
on,
Yeah,
uh,
but the emotional things are more what
yeah, well,
that I'd
the
be interested.
emotional things
Like I
will,
have some like resentment, I think,
they'll
towards some
come
things,
up
or I don't really
as
know, but
as they come
mhm,
up in your,
mhm,
and you'll kind of see as we go along. So in
mhm,
belief code, mostly
mhm,
we're going to be working on kind of the thought patterns of like,
mhm.
um and we start through, hang on, let me show you my screen. You're able to see me, right?
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, I can see your face.
Okay,
Okay,
so
yes,
now
yes, I can see
now
what you're
you
saying.
should be able to see my screen, right?
Uh-huh.
Pepper, you're still 15, right?
I'm 15. Yes, I will be not 15 by the end of the month, which is
Okay.
fun.
So, okay. Just remind me when that switches over, as
Yeah.
we're working together. Probably, throughout the summer, I imagine, we'll be working probably more together then.
Hmm.
Um, okay. So if you can see my screen, I just kind of went through and worked up your belief pattern structure that we're going to be clearing. So there are 4 negative programs, and negative programs um, are kind of, you can think of it as the fruit of basically what this whole thought process is going to be. And
Uh-huh.
generally, negative programs are usually more conscious. So it's usually spot on with how you actively think and the kind of things that you're thinking about. Um,
Yeah.
and then as we go through down deeper in the, um, and as we go down, the limiting beliefs are kind of why you have these negative programs. And, as we go deeper and deeper, like these are the underlying whys you think these ways. Um, and as we go deeper, usually they're more subconscious.
Hmm.
And usually the younger you're getting, so they'll get kind of increasingly more immature or more kind of
Uh-huh.
just instinctual in nature.
Yeah.
Very, like just how you thought as a kid.
Hmm.
And you already said, you were very disoriented a lot because you had the sensory issues and you're constantly just, feel like you were just,
Yeah.
plopped into a situation. I have no idea
Yeah.
what's going on. Um,
Yeah.
so things like that, as we get deeper in the thought process. And then the associated imbalances, sometimes they make sense. Like you might have a lot of like emotional ties to these things. So you might have some emotional blockages that are there. My guess is um, because you're dealing with sensory issues, there's probably pathogens that might come into play. So my guess is those will be
Mm.
yeast or fungal related, generally are the big culprits for sensory issues, although bacteria definitely, prions, which are just improperly folded proteins. So we'll just see what comes up. It does, for the associated imbalances, sometimes it makes perfect sense. And then other times it makes no sense. Like it could
Mm.
be related to a food or to a smell or something. And it was just, as these thought processes were developing, it was something that you had come in contact with and your body just like couldn't process it all. um
Hmm.
and the fact that you had sensory issues, there may be some like really seemingly kind of strange things that are
Hmm.
associated.
Yeah.
So we'll just see what comes up and clear it, and we'll work to your subconscious priority, which is a great way to work when we just, there's a lot going on, which obviously, you have these mental ties and these strange, ideologies of like, I'm terrified I'm going to fall down the stairs and I've really never fallen down the stairs. Where's that coming from? Right.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh, I'm really sorry to interrupt you. One thing I feel like I forgot to mention that I feel like I really should mention
okay.
is that I have a lot of I I have a pretty disorganized attachment style. Like I know I'm dropping all these like terms or whatever. I was really into psychology at one point. Like I said, I'm always psychoanalyzing myself, which is not a good thing. So I'm trying very hard to keep this very objective.
Right.
But as far as attachment styles go, mine is in fact very disorganized. And I'm working on that. But it just really comes from a place of like I'm not sure if you're familiar with that theory, but anyway, I have a lot of trouble. Like, I'm almost kind of like desperate for like attention sometimes. Like, I do sort of like
Okay, so
attention seeking
you
thing.
there's like
Yeah,
attention seeking
yeah.
and okay.
But like then like once people are there, I get freaked out. I get scared, and
Okay,
I
so once you
push them
actually
away.
have their attention, it's like,
Yeah, I had a really
okay,
hard time keeping friends for a really long time. I still kind of have trouble with friends. I still get like the urge to like almost like split, almost be like, I thought you were like a good person, but now you're a bad person, even though it's like not actually split that way. So I kind of had that like instinct. Like I get like I have to like tell myself like no, nobody's perfect and
okay.
everybody's
So as
messed up
soon as
with it.
people disappoint you, you tend to write them
Yeah,
off. Okay,
yeah, that
okay,
sort of thing. Which
okay,
yeah.
yeah.
So yeah. I feel like
Um,
it might have something to do with like resentment towards my parents or something. I have no idea. I have no idea. But yeah.
well, some of the things that we might find that comes
Mhm.
up, and this is always very strange for people to understand, but
Mhm.
sometimes you're born into the world with certain emotional ties,
Oh
and
yeah.
it can be other types of miasms. So miasms are basically maybe their emotions. Sorry, I meant to kill this off. Um, they basically they can be any illness, any emotion, um, and essentially it just gets passed down in your DNA. And if
Yeah.
you're born with those things, it very well could be that you had an ancestor somewhere in your line that had a ridiculous fall. I mean, maybe they fell down the stairs, or maybe they fell off a cliff, or some
Yeah.
crazy fall that 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 energy was passed down through your DNA,
Mhm.
and you're actually reacting to that,
Mhm.
and it makes no logical sense to you, right? Because you never had that experience,
Well,
but it's a
I
very
actually have
real
fallen
thing.
down the stairs, but that was very recently and I've always had the fear of the stairs. So,
Right,
yeah.
right. Well, I mean,
Yeah.
everybody's, at some point fallen downstairs, I feel.
Yeah,
And
it
usually
wasn't even
the
that harrowing of an
it's
experience.
usually falling up the stairs, actually, which is just so weird. It's kind of like how people tend to choke more on liquid than they do on food, but it's just one of those things, right?
Mhm.
Um, but what I mean is, you've never had like a real, legitimate, real reason to be terrified of stairs, right? I mean,
Yeah.
you've never, you know, or
Yeah.
and maybe you did as a small child, and your subconscious knows that, but your conscious memory doesn't know that, right?
Mhm.
So that's the power and the beauty of this work, because you can uncover all those things and fix them, pull them off, reconcile your brain and your body with these things, and
Mhm.
they just tend to kind of go away, get dialed down, get more appropriate, right, for the response.
Mhm.
Um, so that's kind of the power of the work. So
Mhm.
just because you don't know why these things are happening or whatever, it might have come from an ancestor or pre memory or whatever. So we'll just see what comes up. Um, okay. How how are you as far as religion? Would you
I
like
mean,
me to
I'm
pray for
Christian.
you, or should
Oh, for
we
you.
just resonate
I
love and
mean,
gratitude?
you can pray for me if you like. I mean, I don't know. I get kind of awkward when people pray for me, like in person. But like, as far as religion goes, I mean, like, yeah, I mean, like, I'm religious. I'm Christian.
Okay. Well,
Um,
I mean, if you're, you know, if you would rather me not pray for you during the, I mean, I don't have to in that way. I would like to pray for you on my own, whether,
Yeah, sure, you can do that if
uh,
you like.
you know, but for the sake of starting this, we can just together, both of us radiate love and gratitude, whatever, you love the most, whatever makes you the happiest. And basically, all that is just about raising your vibration to the highest you're able to in the moment. And that's just going to help us facilitate the work. That's all.
Oh, okay.
So we'll just spend, you know, a few seconds, maybe 15 seconds or whatever, just raising our personal vibrations through love and gratitude. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Let's do that. Okay. Now I'm just going to make sure that I'm testing as you. So my name is Pepper and I get a strong, which is essentially a yes. Okay. So let's start. There are 4 negative programs. There are. Okay. So is the first negative program, you can't see my screen, right?
Yes, I can.
Okay. The first negative program, is it on the left, the right one? Okay. So the first thing, we're in power, and these correlate with the chakras.
Mhm.
So your power is what? Going to be your sacral, I think. And basically, they just go from highest vibration to lowest, which is kind of,
Okay.
your root chakra. That's where,
Mhm.
when you talk about fight or flight, that root chakra is where that fight or flight's going to be.
Oh, I mean,
It's
like,
like
does that
survival instinct and whatever.
I do sometimes feel anxiety in my feet. Does that, like, mean anything?
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's very common for the root chakra. So, I mean, basically, you're going to feel it in your feet. And sometimes feeling it in your feet, um, that is usually going to be more of a meridian. So that's usually going to be the kidney meridian, which
Mm.
it drives your fear.
I see, okay.
So, and sometimes that can be giving you clues on certain body parts that need like more help.
Okay.
So like if you had a UTI, you might get a lot more like anxiety driven, fear-based, panic, that kind of stuff.
Okay.
And you might definitely feel it in your feet, especially in the balls of your feet.
Yes, I do.
So, and that's because your opening meridian for the kidney is right at the ball of your foot.
I see. Okay, that
So
makes sense.
it's just your body is just signaling, hey, you have an issue here. And
Um,
that can be emotional. So those emotional ties are definitely to fear. So
yeah.
in your kidneys. So and even your, I think you phrased it as an obsession
I mean,
with
don't take my word.
hydration, that might have been trying to signal to you that you there was an issue there.
Yeah.
So it's all kind of tied to your body's energetic system. So
Oh,
as strange as that is, it's all kind of related. So okay, so is that first negative program, is it on the left? Is it first, second? Okay, so we're in comparison.
oh, fun.
So, okay. And yeah, this is the solar plexus. So it's going to be kind of like your diaphragm area is kind of where that
Hmm.
energy portal is located. Okay. And it's associated with self-esteem, confidence, action,
Wow.
identity, power, that kind of stuff.
Okay.
So let's find out what the statement is. Is it the first, second? Is it from the top? Is it first, second, third? Okay. So it's kind of a good thing you're here so I can help you. Others are better than me at blank.
Um,
Is
I
it
mean,
focused?
others are kind of like, I mean, like, when it comes to, completing schoolwork and things, like, of course, like I said, I have a lot of issues with that.
Okay, yeah, school,
That's like a,
school,
I don't think that's necessarily just an irrational belief. I think that's a pretty,
yeah,
I think yeah, I do. My mom could tell you that I do struggle a lot completing assignments on time or at all,
right.
really.
Well,
Maybe that's something, but I don't
and
know.
this is how this works, right?
Mhm.
That becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy, right?
I
Because
suppose
if
so,
if
but
you're
like
like,
even
okay, others are better than me at school, you know, then that's kind of your benchmark,
I
and
suppose there's
you're,
also yeah.
you know, gonna kind of
There's
prove yourself right. Because here's the thing, you want to be right more than anything else, right?
yeah.
And you believe your own words more than anybody else's.
Uh-huh.
So, like all of the internal dialogue, everything, and
Well, yeah.
especially the things that actually come out of your mouth
Yeah. It
is
could also
like, and then it just kind of solidifies all that. And
yeah,
then you start behaving in those ways because, you
yeah.
know,
It
so
could also be this might I mean like it could well, a more obvious one actually might be I do compare myself to my sister a lot. Like a lot.
right.
And she has always been better than me at things. Like she's always been more athletic, she's prettier than I am, she has like a bazillion friends and like it's kind of scary actually. And like yeah. Um so like I feel like that's more like a belief that I have because like I don't think I'm bad at school. I just find it very unpleasant. Um if you know what I mean.
Yeah. Well, a lot of people do. I mean, it's hard, you know, people want to kind of focus on what interests them. And
Yeah.
especially nowadays when, we have all kinds of information and things right at our fingertips, right?
Mhm.
So it's like I want to drill in and dig into the stuff that I'm most passionate about and that I care about the most. And that's just, basic human nature. Is there
Yeah.
something at the end of this statement? Okay, it's impossible. Is it to something to focus? To focus is pretty close. To focus, to focus, um,
Um
to stay focused. Okay, it's to stay focused. Okay, is that the exact statement? Yes. Okay. All right. Um,
like what about committed? Like it's impossible to stay committed to things. Could you test that?
is that closer? No, it's to stay focused. Um,
Oh, okay.
I mean, is that kind of included? Yeah, I mean, it's kind of included, but the focused, you know, kind of it will have that stick to itiveness, right? Just like whether it's focus, like as in concentration, but the
Mhm.
focus may, because we already talked about kind of how you flake out on relationships, right?
Yeah.
So
This
that staying focused could be
yeah.
relational, it could be like
I have a lot of trouble
educational,
sometimes like sticking to my resolutions. Like that is like I say like I want to do this thing and then like I
right?
find it very hard to like keep that up in the long term.
Right. So like, and that piece part that you're talking about is commitment, right? It's hard to stay committed, but that
Mhm.
would, just from a frequency standpoint, right? that would kind of incorporate all of that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, so, and if it needs something more specific, um, and maybe that does come up at some other point in time that's a little more targeted for that.
Oh,
But
I see.
his belief structure, that's, you know, um, it's
Mm-hmm.
just it's impossible to stay focused. Um, all right, is the third one on the left? Is it first, second? Okay, now we're in insight. So insight is going to basically be the brow chakra. So that's going to be like your higher thinking, um,
Mm-hmm.
stuff like that. Okay. Is it left, right, one, two? Okay, or something educational. So let me just put this right. Okay. Right, first, second. Something from the top. Is it first, second? I have to go to a good school.
Interesting. That's really
Is,
interesting.
is this is
Because I
this
don't feel that way.
okay?
um, I don't actually.
Is it something? Um, is it to get a good education? Okay, what am I swapping out? Um, is it I need? Is it I have to, as in a place to go?
I mean, maybe I did. I mean, there's a chance I believe that at some point. I do not really believe that right now. My plan is to go to a just an okay college. I'm not too pressed about my education, to be honest.
Um, is the schooling more skills related? No. Um, okay, is it, am I just dropping a good? Okay, so I have to go to school.
Oh, okay.
Okay,
As in a college or?
I is it like a higher education? No. So I feel like this is more of like, is it more resentment, kind of like I have to do it? Yeah, so
Oh, okay.
it's you know, maybe kind of going back to the whole writing thing, right? As like,
Oh,
I
right. I
have to
do hate
do it. It makes my skin crawl because I don't have a choice. I don't, is that
so
more of what it
being
is?
in school is
Yeah,
terrible for me. It's terrible. I have a lot of issues with like my I can't sit still, and it makes me very uncomfortable to sit still for a long time. And so it's really uncomfortable. I have always been like I've always been exhausted after school. Like I usually like I only go to school a couple of days a week because I do like a homeschool hybrid thing.
right.
And even only going like twice a week, and for not even a very long school day, I come home with like a headache and I just like go to sleep because I'm just so exhausted from just having to sit there and like just endure it. And like I thought for so long, I was like, is there something wrong with me? I think it's a combination of like my sensory issues like overwhelming me and just like
Well, yeah. Okay,
having
so there could be a couple things in play there. Okay, so
Mhm.
first of all, usually those type of environments, there's usually like tile. So the sound of
I have
like,
issues with lights too.
right.
Like
So
lights.
the fluorescent lighting very well could be part of the problem. Do you also have issues like going in the grocery store?
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
so
It almost makes me dizzy after like 15 minutes because of all the.
that it, and it very well may be a combination of those two things because you tend to have like those industrial like tile floors with the
Mhm.
fluorescent lighting and just all of the sound reverberation in there. For people that have sensory
Jeans. I
issues,
hate
it just
jeans.
tends to overload them.
At my school, like we have to wear jeans or dress pants. We're not allowed to wear anything more comfortable.
Okay.
And
So for you, it might also be a tactile thing.
yeah,
Uh,
it's really bad. School is just really really bad for me. Like I just don't like it. I really don't like being there. And like I like some of my classes. I just really hate being there. I hate being there. I'm so glad school is over.
okay. So
Yeah.
yeah, and just may be a combination of all of that for you. It's just so one of the things you may want to try,
Mhm.
um, and I think your mom at some point has tried activated charcoal. I don't know if you know, if she got it for you or your sister or both.
Daphne, yes, yes. I think it was for Daphne.
Okay, so you should try it. Just take it on an empty stomach.
Mhm.
Um, on days you're going to school and see if that
Mhm.
helps.
Okay, okay, I'll try that.
Um, because that just helps to, kind of dial it down. And usually, it's kind of all of the toxins that, um, and usually yeast and fungal, sometimes bacteria strains are producing. Um,
Uh-huh.
and everybody's got those things present in the body. It's
Mhm.
just how many, what types, all of that. So the more you tend to have those things, the more you're going to have issues with that.
Yeah.
Um,
Here,
and
sorry. I'm just gonna shift here. Like you can tell, I'm getting really fidgety because I've been sitting for too long in the same spot.
yeah, I mean,
Sorry, I'm just gonna sit
you can move around. You're
there.
not going
Okay.
to hurt my
Here.
feelings, hon.
Ugh.
And I know, you fidget and, you know, it
Yeah,
doesn't,
and I'm not
you
allowed
know,
to do that in school, and it's really annoying. Like sitting like this, I had to like sitting like this with like my like hands like on the desk, which is how we're supposed to do it, and we're supposed to be making eye contact with the teacher the whole time. And
right.
it is I hate it so much. I cannot sit like that. Like I don't even sit like that at the dinner table because it's just so bad. And it sounds like I'm being dramatic, and I'm sure to some extent I am, but like it's not something that is fun. Oh, the authority. Okay.
Okay, yeah, communication authority is where we're at. Okay, is that the top, the bottom? 11, 10, 9, 8. Okay, I need to obey authority no matter what. And
That's
with
really
everything you
interesting.
were just saying is like exactly what any changes here and now. So basically, this is the closest frequency to that. Is like
That
I
is
need
really
to obey
interesting.
the authority. The teachers tell me I have to sit still, and my feet, like my hands here, and
Well, the thing is,
giving them
though,
eye contact.
they enforce it, though. They do enforce it.
Yeah,
Like you're like we're not allowed to doodle in order to like while the teachers are lecturing because it's disrespectful and means that we're not paying attention. But for me, I actually can't pay attention unless I'm doodling or doing something else with my hands. Um,
right.
so yeah. Yeah. But that's really funny because I feel like I in fact am very, very resentful against most authority. Like I really in fact like the whole thing like I will not obey authority or like I cannot obey authority no matter what is in fact like more what I find myself sometimes thinking. Um I don't ever really I do obey. I do obey people. I don't really make a big fuss, but like I don't. Yeah, so that's interesting.
Okay. Is this the exact statement? I am a liar.
I am.
No, that's not the statement.
Oh,
So
okay.
there's um
Wait, dude.
Um,
Wait, let me look at these here.
what is okay? Is it just swapping liar out? How many words? More than four, more than five, more than six, six.
Oh my gosh.
One, two, three. Okay. Okay, so it's
Uh,
something similar to liar. Okay, so
uh
the statement is six words entirely. Is the I am
okay.
exactly right? Okay, um so something similar to liar. Um
Um, I'm obnoxious. I think I've believed that before. Would that be?
is I am a um it's I am something and then three other words, something similar to liar. Um
Interesting. Um,
do you do like any kind of role playing or any uh
kind of. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I
something
used
like
to.
maybe acting or something that
Yeah,
uh
when I was younger, I always loved role play. When I was in middle school, I like did like the online like role plays like on like the forums. I really liked that. I found that a lot of fun. Um, I am a I'm a fake. Would that like be like I'm like a pretender of some sort?
something like pretender. I'm getting a hesitant no there.
Okay.
Um, so that usually is like yes, but not really. I mean, kind of how liar is, right? It's yes, but not really.
Okay. That's really interesting.
Um, a, I am a faker in something. A faker. I'm getting a hesitant no to that. Pretender. Um, something role play. Um,
I'm not sure if this would be helpful or not, but I know that for like a really long time, I really felt the need, and this is one other reason that school's so exhausting for me is that I have to mask a lot. I have to mask my a lot of my ADHD symptoms kind of get in the way of conversation. I get too passionate about things, so for a long time, I like, for example, didn't talk. Like I would make an effort to be as quiet as possible so that people wouldn't find out I was annoying or like whatever. And I do a lot of that sometimes.
quiet.
And I tried to like basically reinvent my personality because I didn't like it.
Okay, so I am a quiet.
Is quiet that
Yeah, quiet is the next word. Is that the next?
interesting? That's really interesting because I don't think I am.
I am. Well, no, I mean you're like quiet closet, like um like something unknown, something like unknown. So um is it like role player or something like that? Something like that. I'm a quiet um something to do with drama, something to do with acting.
I'm a gossiper.
Gospel. No, two more words.
What about like daydreaming or like fantasy? Because I know I do a lot of daydreaming.
Um, oh, is it quiet daydreamer? Okay.
Is that it?
I am a quiet daydreamer. Yeah, like nobody knows it, or you don't maybe share what your like real goals or dreams or whatever. I'm a
Ah, I see. Okay.
daydreamer. Okay.
So quiet is the exact word.
Yeah, I'm a
Okay.
quiet daydreamer. This is, yeah, interesting.
Yeah. Okay. I'll think about that.
I'm glad you've been here because I mean, I don't even know how long it would have taken me to work that up if you weren't. Because you were just like, well, what about this? Well, oh, and you know, and I guess instinctively you just kind of knew that,
I
well,
mean,
I daydream a lot, and
I do. I do a lot.
and my guess is that's not necessarily something you just
Yeah. I'm
openly
a bit of a
share with people
sadist.
because you're not quiet. I mean,
Nah.
I don't know how you are with other people, but I mean, you've been very open and honest with me. So my guess is, you would be, I mean, I feel like I'm pretty easy to talk to. I mean, I've been doing this
Yes. Yes,
quite
you
a
are.
while,
You're very nice.
and I know, how to kind of, draw people out, I guess.
Mhm.
Um, but my guess is you're not that much different talking to somebody else. You're pretty
I mean,
open.
I don't share quite so much. I suppose.
Right.
Um, I should really stop saying that. Like
Stop saying what?
I say that too much. Um, I suppose you could say I say that too much.
Oh, okay. Um,
I hope I don't sound pretentious or anything. I used to sound kind of pretentious. I'm trying to, be a little bit more comfortable with using, I don't know, layman's terms.
yeah, interesting. I feel like that some of that is very in line with what just came up for you. uh, with just, the quiet, like, um, you know, you put it as like I'm wearing a mask or like, kind of what you're showing isn't necessarily like how you're feeling on the inside or
Uh-huh.
what you're internalizing and stuff. So I feel like
Mhm.
that's all kind of related. Okay.
Yeah.
The limited belief, the second one's on the left. Is it the first, second, third? Go back into communication. Is it left, right?
Communication's fun.
That was the first, second. Okay. Is it from the top? Is it the first, second, third? Is it this exact? I am unable to do what I would like to do. Feel like that tracks. Back to that authority, like I just, I don't have a choice. Okay. Um, all right.
Wait, so oh, okay, okay.
Oh,
There we go. It loaded. Okay.
okay. Can
I'm
you,
unable to do what I would like to do. Yes. I do feel like that a lot of times with my ADHD. Like
right,
it makes me feel very like almost like makes me freeze up. Like it's like
right.
ugh.
And see, again, like what I was trying to explain before, like if you take this one on education, I have to go to school, right?
Mhm.
The why is because I'm unable to do what I'd like to do. You know,
Mhm.
I need to obey authority no matter what because I'm unable to do what I'd like to do.
Mhm.
I'm being forced, and, here's why. And all of these things happen because, you know,
Mhm.
and even others are better than me at school because I'm
Mhm.
unable to do what I want to do,
Yeah.
you know. Um,
Oh
because
yes.
if you could focus your schooling, your training, and like what on whatever you're passionate about, maybe you would be better than other people. But because I have to sit here and I have to learn how
Well,
I'm supposed to force to learn, I'm
well,
not
yeah.
able to,
I used to believe that. I used to really think that, but I yeah. For like a long time, like I said, I could kind of skate by, even though I had a lot of issues with my ADHD because I was able to sort of hack the system.
right.
As in, like, I could like figure out like how the teachers tested, and I would be able to like, and I wouldn't really have to study because I kind of got like an intuitive feel of like what sort of questions they'd be asking and things based off of past experiences, and so ooh, okay, that's interesting.
Yeah, it's
Um,
pointless to try. It's just the exact it is. Okay. Um, okay.
Mom, nope, we're still going. There was one. There was like it was this like entire like phrase there that she had to like fill in. Mom, you can come over and look at it if you want.
Yeah, I mean, okay, so I'm glad that kind of came up because we didn't go over that. So everything that you share with me, you are free to do with the information and whatever,
Uh-huh.
you know, as much as you want to share with your mom, you can, you don't have to.
I see.
Your mom and I, we won't, you know, what happens between you and I is totally up to you and
Okay.
your mother's relationship.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I keep, hi.
Hey,
Hello,
hey, sorry.
Darla. Pepper
I'm really
invited
sorry.
me over here.
I'm really sorry to interrupt you on this. But mom, look, she had this like the I have to go to school, and she was like, oh, do you feel like resentful about like going to school? Sorry if that's not verbatim or whatever. And I'm like, yeah, I hate going to school. I hate sitting there. It sucks. I hate it.
Yeah.
Like, so yeah, apparently school is in fact so bad that it is a
Yeah.
faulty core belief.
Okay.
I have a lot of school related things apparently,
Okay. Yeah.
which is not fun.
So, yeah, I was just telling Pepper, Krista, that, whatever her and I, it's totally between us. What she
Right.
chooses to share with you is,
Yeah.
up to y'all's relationship and whatever. And it's just important that you know that too. I'm not going to be, um, because there's times that, I see things in the threads that, and obviously if she were to have like inherited things, maybe she's inheriting them from you or
Exactly.
somebody
Yeah.
on your side or stuff that you've also like kind of uncovered or very
Sure.
similar to your thought processes or whatever.
Yeah.
I won't share, all of y'all's stuff. So that will be totally up to y'all,
Sure.
navigating y'all's relationship and, kind of what y'all
Yeah.
are comfortable sharing or not.
Yeah.
So I'm safe for both of y'all, like individually,
Yeah.
whatever,
Yeah. And
you
then we'll
need or
figure
want.
out between us
Yeah.
what.
Yeah.
Yeah, that works. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Well, I will keep on going here. We are what? In forgiveness.
You can go.
Okay. All right.
Okay, yeah, you can go.
And Krista, I'll probably see you soon or whenever I
Yeah.
see you. Okay. Okay. For a second. Yeah, I'm sure it's probably taking a little bit longer because I just wanted to make sure that, we were covering all your bases, nutritionally, making sure, there was not some other underlying stuff. Okay.
uh,
First, from the top, first, second, third. Is this the exact? Interesting. Okay. So for divine forgiveness is I need to punish them.
oh, who is them?
I don't
Does that
know.
like you say like divine? Like does that like
Um, so divine is like your higher self, like generally from how you are from the outside perspective, obviously. So basically, it's going to connect with spirit, your self realization, your wisdom, spirituality, like how you fit in with the world at large, your relationship to your idea of God, or, the ultimate energy source, or
Oh, okay.
whatever,
I mean,
I mean,
yeah,
you already said you're a Christian, so
yeah, yeah.
that would be God, your relationship with Jesus, but it's also just your own
Like,
spirit.
oh,
Yeah.
okay. So it's not saying that I want to punish God, right?
No, 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 not
Okay.
at all. Um,
That's good because I was like,
and
oh no.
um, is the them is that parents? Is that teachers? Just those on the outside? Yeah, I mean, just the them as kind of a nebulous them. And my guess
Oh,
is that it's going to be very relational. So again, since this is your faulty core identity, this is generally something very, very, very young, right? So
okay.
this is how a
When I was young,
child
I
would
did.
think.
Oh, okay. When I was young, I mean, yeah. When I was young, and I guess this is one thing that I wouldn't really want you talking about with my mom. Like, when I was like younger, like I did feel kind of like I don't know, kind of resentful towards like my parents and like my dad's in particular. And like to this day, I feel like I can't really like my parents are really nice now, but like back then they were stressed out and like sometimes I feel like they like didn't really like, especially since I was like already kind of struggling, with like my own things. I feel like they kind of took it out on me sometimes, which like I don't know. I don't even know. I mean, who even knows? Maybe I'm wrong, but like yeah, when I was younger, I was very very yeah, you know.
Well, I mean, as a child,
Uh-huh.
you know, it's easy to get mad and resentful and
Yeah.
just like, and I'll just give you an example. Like, children will go, "Oh, I'll get back at you. I'll hold my breath." You know, like, that's very immature. Like, you're gonna,
I used to
first
starve
of all, you
myself to try to
can't
get
do
back at my
that.
parents.
What's that?
I used to starve myself to try to get back at my parents.
Okay, see, I mean, like, that's the exact kind of thing, right?
Hey, wait. So like,
It's very immature. It's very, like, very childlike. So
mm-hmm.
we're very, like, this is stuff that was probably from when you were a kid. I'm going to punish them by not eating,
Yeah.
and that could actually be the source of a lot of your issues with food.
I mean, yeah, yeah.
I mean,
For
so
me,
it
I
was
did like a lot
born.
of things. Mostly, I think a lot of what I did was I mostly just took it out on myself. And like not eating was just one of those things. Like
Right, right.
I would break like my favorite things, and I would do things that so that I knew that my parents would like punish me because I was mad at them and I was like really mad and I didn't know how to deal with that. So I just kind of like, well, I need to make myself feel as much pain and discomfort as possible to fix that, and as if that was going to fix it, and it didn't, obviously. But like, yeah, I feel like I'm talking too much.
No, not at all.
Yeah.
Because I mean, it's especially when I'm like still drilling into all of the beliefs, it's helpful to kind of,
Okay.
and as as this stuff comes up, and it's kind of, because it will put like the thoughts, right,
Mhm.
whether they're conscious or semi-conscious, subconscious, and you might start getting images or flashes, or it's reminding you of certain things. So everything that you kind of are thinking and what comes up is usually very much in line with part of that belief structure. It's like your mind, whether it's on the conscious level or all the way to the subconscious level, is very aware of all of those piece parts. So it starts like kind of showing you things and throwing, out the clues of, how to decode all that. So it's all kind of relevant.
Okay. That's good.
Okay. So the first associated imbalance is an alignment or a misalignment in the thoracic vertebrae of T5. So that's going to be kind of like in your middle back. So
okay.
It's, generally liver conditions, anemia, which.
So like I'm just
the
gonna
reason why I was asking about whether you got like exhausted when you're walking up and down the stairs, because even just looking at your pallor, you might have like a slight anemia issue. Are your periods heavy?
My periods, yeah, they're not like super heavy, but I would say that they're heavy-ish. Like they're not super long or anything. I would say they're like normal, but on the heavier side of like normal.
Okay.
They're so like
I
obviously
mean,
like
sometimes you can get that from, and if you're eating a lot of toast, I mean, how much meat are you eating?
I like eating meat, but my mom doesn't. So like
Okay.
it kind of depends on like whether it's like my mom doesn't like eating meat, so we don't eat a lot of meat. I mean like
Right.
we eat meat, probably not a lot of meat, which is probably fine. And like as for my as for me being pale, that is in fact it's a genetic thing. It's just my dad. My dad used to be pale before he got all sunburnt in California, and I look a lot like my grandma. I look like almost exactly like my grandma on my dad's side, and she looked like me. So, I don't think it's necessarily a health issue, but I suppose it could be. Um,
Are
my
you
leg
okay?
hurts.
Oh, so the next thing that it's tied to is connective tissue in your ligament. Is it one in particular? It's not. So it's multiple. Okay. Is there anything else I need to know about it?
Wait, so like right, I'm sorry. I feel like I'm talking too much and I'm making this take a really long time.
No, you're fine. I'm kind of moving forward, and
Yeah.
listening at the
So
same
long as I'm
time.
not, yeah.
So, um, okay. Is there anything else I need to know about that? There's not. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So left, right, one, right, left, right. One.
Oh no!
Okay.
No!
Do we need to know what kind? Is it something external? It is. Okay. Keto tick.
Okay, so I should tell you that, like I said, I am kind of a hypochondriac. So, like,
Um,
um,
this, I'm getting that it is an external. Is it test lights? Is it close to that? Mosquitoes. Is it more than one? It is okay. Physical,
mosquitoes really like to bite me.
external. Mosquito one, mosquito, and dust. Okay. Hang on just a second. My dog is at my door all whimpering and
Oh no, I get that.
hi. Hey, Darren. Hey, buddy. Hello. You want to say hello? You want to say hello? Come here. Come here. Oh,
Oh, your dog. Oh, your dog. Oh my gosh. Oh, looks so cute. Looks like my cousin's dog.
his name is Bentley, and
Oh.
he's still a puppy. He's about a teenager at this point. I think he's like 7.5, 8 months. So he's like,
Oh.
and chewing everything. Okay. So external parasites. We got mosquitoes. And dust mites. Just okay. So you probably want to just wash your bedding really good.
Okay, I can do that.
And mosquitoes. I mean, just do what you
I live in the
can
South.
to.
I really hate wearing I'm kind of sensitive to fragrances, which is why I hate wearing bug spray.
Yeah.
So
I mean, they have some decent ones now. Was this something from a previous exposure? Yeah, I mean it was. I mean, my guess is because it's associated with this belief structure, so they were, you know, um, and it might have been something even from a small when you were very young. So,
yeah. So like, how do you do like the energetic testing thing? Like,
so basically, I'm just muscle testing.
okay, so you're just doing like this thing.
I'm doing right. The one I do, I like the O-ring method. There's so many. I think I know probably about 10, maybe more different ways of muscle testing. Some people use pendulums. Personally, I don't have time for that. I like it. The way I test is so much faster. But there's just a number of ways. The only downside to the way I test is, it requires two hands. But I like it too because as long as I'm holding my hands up high enough, it's really easy to see a no, and you can tell a yes. So that's an advantage too with working over Zoom.
So like, if I wanted to like try to like muscle test on myself, like, how reliable do you think that would be? Like, not knowing me or anything at all.
I mean, anybody can learn how to do it. There's a couple of reasons why people aren't successful doing it, and some of those are dehydration, heavy metals, because sometimes that just really messes up people's polarity. But usually it's their mental state where they just believe they can't do it. That's the biggest, kind of the biggest hindrance. It's just too difficult for me to learn how, or, stuff like that. But you can practice. So basically, you just take your dominant hand and make put your finger and your thumb and your forefinger together, and then with your less dominant hand, and you don't have to do it that way. I just like doing it that way because mentally I know that my dominant hand is going to be stronger. So it's just.
So you pull with your non-dominant. So
yeah, I mean,
okay,
basically you just, you can start out by doing a baseline of show me a yes, and then you pull, and you'll notice it's really strong. You can't pull it. And then show me a no, and then you'll easily be able to break the loop. and then you just play around with it and just do it long enough that you that you know what a yes response is and what a no feels like.
Mm-hmm.
And then you'll start noticing sometimes you'll get a hesitant no where it's like eventually it breaks, and you'll start to kind of realize, okay, well, that's a no. So either I need to change my phrasing, or maybe like we'll take a food, for example. If you were testing out a food, and you get like a hesitant no, maybe it's okay if I take an enzyme present with this, I'm strong, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe if I eat this in combination with another food, it's weak, versus if I eat it this way, I'm not. Or maybe it matters how it's prepared or whether it's cooked or not, or things like that.
Mm-hmm.
So you'll kind of start to realize that there's some nuances to those hesitant no's where, I just gotta phrase it different, or I need to kind of, sometimes it's yes and sometimes it's no, or it's trying to tell you you're kind of on the right track, but there's some changes that need to happen.
Okay.
So,
yeah,
and
cool.
then just, kind of play around with it, because it would be helpful for you to, obviously be able to test out certain foods and, you know, things you come in contact with, um, experiential things like, every time you go to class, if you could test out, you know, intend to test out the lighting versus the tile floor versus the whatever, because if it's the reverberation of the tile floor, it might be helpful for you to put in ear, like earplugs. Right.
My school, unfortunately, they don't really believe, or like they're the types that like they believe that people can be neurodivergent, but they just don't particularly care. And they
Right.
think that everybody should just figure out how to do things normally. Everybody should just, like suck it up and like do it. And do it
Right.
normally, because like you're not special. My school's kind of like that.
Right.
So they wouldn't, yeah. They wouldn't nah. Nah. Um
Hey.
yeah, but yeah, earplugs. I wear noise canceling headphones around the house a lot, and
Hey.
especially through like I have a lot of trouble with overhead lights in my house. I hate overhead lights. I can't ever have them on. Like it feels just ugh, it feels so bad. Um so sometimes I have to like close my eyes while I'm walking through rooms that my sisters have turned the lights on. Or have to
Right.
wear noise canceling headphones.
Right.
But yeah. So at home I could probably wear like earplugs and things.
Buddy, stop.
Is that your dog?
Yeah.
Aw.
Um, can you hang on just a second? I'm gonna try and see if my husband is here and he can get him.
No, that's fine.
Give me just a second. Come here. Okay. Sorry about that. Okay. Um, so yeah, just play around your muscle testing and,
Mhm.
just kind of learn the difference. And,
Okay.
you know, that's my favorite one to use. And, there's a bunch of more, if you're struggling with that one, I can point you in the right direction, next time we get together.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I find this very interesting.
Two. Yeah, I mean, it's really helpful. I mean, I can't even tell you all the things that it's helped over the years. I've been doing it for probably, well, at least 20, probably 22, 23 years. And when I first started, like, everybody just thought I was crazy and everything else. And then now, I'll just say, oh yeah, well, I just muscle test that. And used to be, people had no idea what I was talking about, whether I was doctors or just lay people, anybody. And, I always expected to have to launch into the whole spiel. And now they're just like, oh my God, I've been doing that forever. And it's like forever's been like a year or two, whatever. But, it's kind of funny. All right. Is it on the left, the right one? Okay. Now we got tied to an organ. It's at left. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Spleen. And this is going to be an imbalance.
So, like, by the way, these things, like, it doesn't indicate any health issues, does it, necessarily?
No, it's just, as these things developed, now you could be, but not necessarily.
Okay.
It could have been that, at some point when you were developing these belief patterns, that was what you were going through at the time. So, it just, your body just views those as being in some way connected. So we have to clear those imbalances as part of taking down the whole belief structure.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Left, right, one. Okay, left, right, left, 1, 2, 3. Okay. So this time we have an energy of a pathogen. And the energy of a pathogen is just based on a previous infection. And in this case, it's a prion, which is just an improperly folded protein that, basically makes the immune system have to clean those up. So, like, probably the most known, actual prion disease is mad cow, but like, a lot of times, like, seizure disorders and different things like that are a lot of times related to those prions. So, and you can have like prions without, I mean, everybody's got them to some degree, but most of the time it's not like necessarily a disease state. I mean, obviously mad cow is like an actual
yeah, that's like pretty bad.
But yeah. Okay. Is there anything else we need to know about that? There's not. Okay, left, 1, 2.
Yeah, so, like, this, like, thing that you're using, this thing that you're using, like, is this, I see it's like app.discoverhealing.com, so is that, like...
Yeah, okay, so,
is that like a free resource, or, like, not?
No, so, the modality that this particular one, I think last time we had done, actually,
it was body code, I think.
Yeah, it was body code. So, like, right now, this piece part that we're doing is we're using the body code.
I see. Okay.
Like, I'll just call it a matrix. And basically, that's just like the menu for the muscle testing, for how to drill into the things. So,
like, one could make their own, like, thing, right? Because you say, like, it's like left or right, and then you number them.
Yeah. So, I kind of made mine.
It's
Um,
really neat, by the way. I like the art and everything. It's really neat.
yeah, yeah. I mean, they've done a really good job um, for the Matrix. Can I even? Is it on this side? It might not be on this side
Uh,
because I created one um, using. It's called the brain. So it's funny because I'll tell people, yeah, I'll just test, using my brain or whatever, the brain. So it's always kind of funny when I'm doing that. But um, I built my own with the brain, like using the supplements and stuff that I use, and the different modalities, because I've got, a number of modalities that I use. These days, mostly I use um, one of the codes, so emotion code, belief code, or body code. And generally, I'll just muscle test which one of those. And then the food clearings and the pathogen clearings that I've been doing kind of developed from part of the work with these structures, really more from the correction process, um, which we're getting ready to get into. And once we get into that, it's actually pretty quick. So this is the third modality. So I'm certified, and I don't even know if you have access to the app without being a certified practitioner.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but you can definitely kind of create your own thing, and definitely using muscle testing to kind of drill into certain things, different modalities or that kind of stuff. So,
Yeah. Okay.
all right. That's the last one on the left. Is it first, second, third? Okay, we have, is it left, right? Okay, so just circadian rhythm. So this is going to be, tying into your sleep cycle. Is there anything else we need to know? Okay. And that's going to be pretty common with, like, sensory issues. There's almost always going to be a circadian rhythm imbalance. I mean, it's the reason why people with ADD and, autism and OCD and
Yeah.
whatever, I mean,
I
they can't
fortunately
sleep.
don't. Yeah. I fortunately don't have a lot of issues with my sleep relating to ADHD, but my family members that also have ADHD do have pretty significant issues. Um, my dad, he used to do gymnastics and he has to like run through his like gymnastic routines like in his head in order to fall asleep because he can't fall asleep otherwise. His
Interesting.
brain just won't. It just won't stop. Um, and my another family member, she has to listen to audiobooks because she can't settle down enough to sleep.
Right.
And I fortunately, I mean, like, I'm less hyperactive than both of them, I think. Or any of my hyperactivity is like, I talk a lot, but um, I find it very easy to fall asleep because I'm always kind of tired. I'm kind of low energy, in general. Um, yeah. Anyway, were you wanting to do like the clearing or something? So
Yeah,
like, where'd
yeah.
you get first
So,
degree?
is there anything else we need to know about any of that? Okay, so we're ready to clear it. Okay, so we've decoded everything and we're ready to start clearing it. So, this is thoracic. Okay. All right. So I'm just taking strong magnet as I go through this process, and we start with clearing off the associated imbalances. So we're going to realign that thoracic, that T5, the thoracic 5, get that all nice and straight, vertically, horizontally.
I should probably sit up here.
No, you're fine. Okay. All right, let's reset that connective tissue and those ligaments, all the ligaments that are in balance. Let's bring some healing energy.
She's just doing the clearing right now.
Okay. All right. Clear out that external parasites, mosquitoes, and dust mites. Clear out any residuals remaining from that. Okay. Now let's reset the spleen. Setting the spleen. Okay, bring some healing energy to it. All right, now let's clear out that energy of the prion from pre. All right, now let's reset the circadian rhythm. All right. All right, all those associated imbalances cleared. Okay, so now we're going to start with the negative programs and clear these one by one. Okay, so right now, if I went through and I tested all of these statements are going to test strong. So others are better than me at school. Yes. So basically that statement, right, is testing as a truth for you, right? So as we go through at the end, I'll test all of these to test them to make sure that they're weak. And that just means that your conscious mind and your subconscious mind views that as a false statement. Okay. So that's how that works. Okay. So let's clear out the others are better than me at school. It's got to go. Okay. Now let's clear out. It's impossible to stay focused. Now, you may or may not feel these. Some people do, some people don't. Kind of depends on how, sensitive people are. Okay,
So,
I have to go to school. And then you might have that one that like you really feel and you don't feel any others. So, it is what it is.
Feel.
What?
So like when you say feel, do you mean like a physical sensation?
Sometimes it's physical, sometimes it's energetic, like sometimes you just like.
Yeah. I think I felt a bit of vertigo on the it's impossible to stay focused.
Yeah, I mean, so definitely, yes. Sometimes it might be emotional outbursts. It really just depends, and it's very, it's very personal.
Mm-hmm.
And one can be completely different than, so a lot of times people will yawn, they'll sigh. Sometimes you'll get watery eyes. Sometimes I'll have the reaction and you'll feel nothing. And other times you'll feel it and I won't feel it. I feel like that doesn't happen a whole lot because I'm super sensitive, very empathic. So, Okay. I think I cleared out that I have to go to school, but just in case. Pretty sure I did. Okay. I need to obey authority no matter what. Obey authority no matter what. Okay. I am a quiet daydreamer. Okay. I'm unable to do what I'd like to do. Okay. It's pointless to try. That one keeps shifting. It's pointless to try. it's almost like there's layers to that of like, all the like kind of all the threads to try this, to try that, to try, dot, dot, dot.
Uh-huh.
Is that all of those? Okay. I need to punish them. Last thing to punish them. It's gotta go. Okay. All right. I'm just gonna go back through. Others are better than me at school. It's impossible to stay focused. I have to go to school. I need to obey authority no matter what. I'm a quiet daydreamer. I'm unable to do what I like to do. It's pointless to try. To punish them. Okay.
So is it all good?
I'm sorry?
Is it all good?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, they're all testing as false now. Is the best way to treat the subconscious gap with a positive belief. Defragmenting energetically. Okay, so there's two different methods for kind of dealing with, okay, the best way to describe this is like if your computer, if you start pulling out, like deleting all kinds of files, right? You're left with like these gaps in your hard drive, right?
Yeah.
So basically, this is kind of like defragmenting your hard drive. What I'm getting ready to do. And it doesn't usually come up like this. Usually people want like a positive statement put in place of the stuff removed. So it's not very common that I'm just defragmenting energetically. So we're just cleaning up all those empty gaps, kind of straightening up, pushing them together. Or you can think of it like, if you have a bookshelf and you start pulling out books and, they're all kind of like leaning over and all crazy, you're just kind of like pushing them all together and, making them cohesive again and putting the bookends, kind of. All right. Is that good? Okay. When should our next session be? Do we need more than a week? No. So a week from today, at least a week. Okay. So we need at least a week. So, the other thing, I think somewhere I've got your email, but give me your best email that I can send you the report and stuff.
You can just send it to my mom. I have like her email connected to mine, and like I'm fine with her looking at it.
Okay. So I'll send you. I'll get the report out to you probably later on tonight or tomorrow. I've got something I gotta help. I'm helping my parents move, and so I'm gonna be doing that this afternoon. Okay, so I'll send you a report where all of these. Oh, let me just remove this. You'll have all of this, and then I'll send you the link to the video. Now I post the videos on YouTube, but they're all set to private. They're unpublished. So nobody knows that they're there but you or somebody that has a link. So, and I don't really share the links with anybody, but I mean, they'll go through your mom. So, you and your mom can watch or whatever if you want to play stuff back or whatever. But otherwise, I will get you on my schedule probably next Monday or Tuesday.
Okay.
Whenever, make sure you get enough time to kind of process this stuff. With belief code, it takes a little time you'll find yourself kind of trying to think the way you've always thought, and then it takes a little time to kind of shift your perspective and for it to really filter down in that there are changes that are happening. It's it takes a little longer with belief code but generally speaking, the mind gets a lot quieter. All of the crazy junky, like, the overwhelm and the mental chatter and all of that generally goes away. That can happen pretty quick. But so, okay. Well, you'll have all my information. You can reach out to me if you have any issues or questions or whatever. Otherwise, I will probably see you next Monday or Tuesday, sometime early next week. All right?
Okay.
Okay.
Bye.
You have a good day. Bye.
You too. Bye.